Patricia, thank you very much. And I want to begin by expressing my very special thanks to the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking for your extraordinary work in combating modern-day slavery. You know, ladies and gentlemen, significant progress has been made since I authored landmark legislation, the Trafficking Victims Protection Act of 2000, or the TPVA, to combat human trafficking in New Jersey, the nation, and the world. Because traffickers are constantly developing new methods and means to exploit the vulnerable, especially women and children, we have to continually update and aggressively recalibrate our efforts to prevent this gross evil, to protect the victims, and to prosecute the perpetrators. We need to craft new tools spearheaded by the government at the state, local level, and of course updated laws in Washington. But we need to work with the private sector as well to combat this hideous evil. No state or country and few industries are untouched by this pervasive human rights abuse. Traffickers use airlines to move their victims, hotels to exploit them, and unsuspecting buyers to pay for goods that have been made with raw materials by forced and bonded labor. It is estimated that anywhere from 12 to 27 million sex and labor trafficking victims in the world are being exploited at any given time. We know that organized crime, street gangs, and pimps right here in Trenton and throughout our state have expanded into sex trafficking at an alarming rate. It is an extremely lucrative undertaking. A trafficker can make $200,000 or more off a single victim. Unlike drugs or weapons, a human being can be held captive and sold into sexual slavery over and over and over again. And we are just beginning to understand the full scope of labor trafficking. The ILO estimates that countries import and export tens of billions of dollars worth of goods made by labor trafficking victims. Unsuspecting buyers purchase these goods, perpetuating the profits of traffickers and the victims. Of particular interest are the evolving roles of public-private partnerships. In the past few years, several effective initiatives that aim to prevent trafficking and assist victims have been undertaken by the private sector. The Radisson hotels and affiliated chains, as well as the Hyatt and the Hilton, have taken the lead in developing best practices in the hotel industry, which includes training employees to recognize and report suspicious activities to law enforcement. The Body Shop is using its brand to raise awareness of human trafficking and to campaign domestically and internationally. Airline Ambassadors, a non-governmental organization, has identified numerous ways to mitigate trafficking on airlines, and some, including Delta and British Airways, have actually put them into practice. And there are myriad of stories of women who, while they were being trafficked, a very alert and situationally aware flight attendant took the information, told the pilot, told law enforcement, and as those women were exiting the plane at JFK and many other airports, they were separated, the trafficker was apprehended, and they were liberated. The TV Trafficking Victims Protection Act finally prescribes numerous reports, including annual reports about what is going on in the world, but we also report on ourselves, on what we're doing and what we're not doing and where the gaps are. The Trafficking Victims Protection Act launched a bold strategy that includes sheltering, political asylum, and other protections for the victims, long jail sentences and asset confiscation for the traffickers, and tough sanctions for governments that failed to meet minimum standards prescribed by the law. However, we all know, and that's why we're here today, more needs to be done. So I commend the Coalition, the Christie administration, and the lawmakers here for working so hard to end this egregious practice. Thank you.